Greetings, Internet Drinking Buddies. My name is Link, the show's name is Tubbin and Chuggin, and on this episode, I'll be imbibing Cabin Fever. Welcome back to the tub, everybody. I think we got a fun one this episode. We've got a Canadian whiskey made with actual Canadian maple syrup. Let's take a look. Now, Cabin Fever was originally made by a man named Rob Robillard. Interesting name. Currently manufactured in Canada, imported to the States via Connecticut. Now, as mentioned, during the brewing up there in the Great White North, it gets infused with pure grade B dark maple syrup, which, if you're unfamiliar, usually made at the end of the sugaring season. It's almost as dark as molasses and has a very strong flavor, typically just used in cooking or brewing things like this. Occasionally, some people do have it on their table as maple syrup, if you're into that. So that's the thing. Once it's made, it gets aged for 3 years, bottled at your typical 40% ABV. Obviously, the pricing for this one's going to come in somewhere in the high teens for a fizz, so you're looking at about $1.20 a drink. So decent enough. Now, personally, my own experience with this would have been at a con if I've had it at all. Similar to the Stroh that Aubrey and I reviewed, this seems like the kind of weird thing that's going to show up at a hotel room in the middle of a convention, much more typically than it would be in like your neighbor's whiskey cabinet. So if I've had it before, I don't really remember it, which is always exciting. Now, as far as how to drink this, Cabin Fever's website has a few cocktail recommendations, one of which we'll be following here today. It's just a shot. But it's always nice to see official recommendations for more out-there products like this. Now, shot glass-wise, given the naming, I wanted to go with something kind of outdoorsy, so I went with a national park kind of theme, Zion National Park. Very nice. Check it out if you haven't. And with all that out of the way, let's get to the toast, which I find to be appropriate. Oh, Canada. Okay. The maple syrup vibe is heavy. Doesn't go away. It's still there. My lips feel like I just had the thickest slice of pancakes I've ever had. Man, it really just stays there. Now, I will say, I didn't taste hardly any whiskey in that whatsoever. A little bit, to be sure. You can still definitely feel a whiskey, but it is masked so heavily by this ridiculously thick, sweet maple syrup taste. Oh man, that feels like a meal in and of itself. Like a complex taste that really just doesn't leave your mouth, doesn't leave your throat. It's still like right here is about where I feel it. I don't know how long it's been since I've had the shot, but man, I really like that. I really do. I'm pretty sure I've never had that before. And as somebody who experiments with whiskeys in that way of adding, we had the apple flavor on this, obviously the cinnamon flavor, and then kind of just your more typical ones, that's really good. That is really good. I really like that. I am pleasantly surprised. I did not think I would like that as much as I did. Cabin Fever, maple flavored whiskey, holy hell. Maple syrup taste is still there too. If you like maple syrup, give this thing a try. If you like whiskey, if you don't like maple syrup, never go anywhere near this. And if you don't like maple syrup, also don't go anywhere near this. But if you do like maple syrup, give this a shot, for sure. A little pricey, $1.20 a drink, that's not horrible, obviously, but when you can get things, when you can get a fifth for $10 instead of 18 or 20, it's a little bit of a tougher sell, but I do think it's worth it. I think it's worth giving it a shot. And I'm just very pleasantly surprised by this. So, Cabin Fever is getting a strong recommendation. As always, let me know if you had any products you want to see me review. I have gotten a request for a mezcal, which I will be looking into purchasing. I don't have that with me now, so that will be a couple episodes out, but that should be fun. And as always, please drink responsibly.